Aye. Welcome again to courtroom 440, calling case P10957770, City of Detroit versus Jermaine Pugh. It's on. Count one, riding motor vehicle, motorcycle, moped on sidewalk misdemeanor, calling case P10957772, City of Detroit versus Jermaine Pugh, count one misdemeanor, operating off-road vehicle on public highway. Appearances for the record.
The record, Harry Boffman for the defendant. Mr. Pugh, your name, please.
Jermaine Pugh.
Thank you. It is the date and time for trial. The good officer, Officer Bennett, is appeared, and we have had a discussion in the breakout room with the aims of coming to a pretrial settlement with the prosecutor, the state prosecutor in this case. Towards that end, there is a recommendation now before the court that if the defendant were to plead guilty to count one, riding on the sidewalk, that charge would be thereafter reduced to improper plates. That is a no-point offense and does not abstract to the Secretary of State, so it would not go on his driving record. And if he pleads to that, count two would be dismissed, and he knows he's not going to have a trial today. For the purposes of the plea here, I am stipulating to probable cause as to the matter being dismissed.
Thank you. Officer Bennett, can you please put an appearance on the record?
Officer Daryl Bennett, badge 4320, Detroit Police Department, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Pugh, can you please raise your right hand for the court, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you'll give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may lower your right hand at this time. Mr. Pugh, you understand, are you waiving your presence today to have this case heard physically in person, and are you agreeing to have this case heard by Zoom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you understand that you have a right to a trial and the right to assistance of counsel at all proceedings?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have the right to have counsel appointed to represent you at public expense in the event that you are unable to afford one and conviction could result in incarceration of any kind?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you have a right to a jury trial when required by law?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You had an opportunity to review the plea recommendation that counsel just stated on the record. Is it your wish to proceed with this plea today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that if I accept your plea today, that you cannot have a trial of any kind?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you'll be giving up your right to have witnesses called to your defense at trial?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you'll be giving up your right to cross-examine any prosecution witnesses at trial?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you'll be giving up your right to testify or to remain silent without any inference being drawn from your silence?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you're giving up your presumption of innocence and the requirement that guilt be proven beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has anyone threatened you, forced you, or promised you anything beyond this plea recommendation today to get you to tender a plea of guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty under your will?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Directing your attention now to the date of July 4th, 2020 at approximately 4:34 p.m. Were you in the area of Broad Street and Beagle Street in the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
Driving a 2019 green, is it Polaris? Vehicle?
2020.
Okay, 2020, but was it a green Polaris?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And on that date, time, and location, were you riding your motorcycle or moped on a sidewalk?
No, ma'am.
Counsel, if you'd like to continue with voir dire at this time for purposes of this factual basis.
Sure. Now, Mr. Pugh, you and I talked about this prior to us coming into open court in a confidential breakout room. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
And
You can say yes or no, sir. You can't say uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was at that time that you indicated to me that you were preparing that vehicle for a trip up north, correct?
Yep. Yes.
And that you were traveling on the vehicle to the nearby gas station, is that correct?
Yes.
To gas up the vehicle.
Yes.
And you're telling the court that at no time did you drive that motor vehicle on the sidewalk? You did drive on the sidewalk for a brief period of time, is that correct?
No, because yes.
No, well, I'll make sure you understand the question, okay? When you got on the motor vehicle, where were you?
In the driveway.
The ATV, you were in the driveway.
Yep.
You left the driveway, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And in leaving the driveway, you drove over the
Yes.
sidewalk, correct?
Yes.
Council,
Yes.
council,
Now you remember.
council, stop. I have to have a proper record of this. You can't say, can't shake your head as if those are not verbal answers. I have to say yes or no to every answer that he asks you. So I need you to go back and ask your question again, and I need a verbal response.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Let's go back to you mount the vehicle in your driveway. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you eventually leave the vehicle, you leave on the vehicle out of your driveway. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in doing so, you rode on the sidewalk, right?
Yes.
And you rode on the sidewalk again when you tried to enter into the gas station. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm satisfied with the factual basis here, and just want for clarification that I don't believe that the defendant understood the question when the court posed the question as to driving on the sidewalk. I believe that it was in the defendant's intention to say that he drove on the sidewalk, but that he wasn't riding solely on the sidewalk, or he didn't mount the sidewalk and drive down the sidewalk. He did drive on the sidewalk, and I'm satisfied with the factual basis, Your Honor.
Officer Bennett, anything from you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, the court is satisfied and will accept your client's plea of guilty to an amended charge to improper place pursuant to the recommendation with the stipulation of probable cause, and will dismiss case P1095772, count 1 for operating an off-road vehicle on a public highway pursuant to the recommendation with the stipulation of probable cause.
Stipulated, so stipulated.
All right. Counsel, would you please address this court prior to sentencing in this matter?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Officer Bennett, is there anything you'd like to add prior to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Pugh, a few questions for you. Are you currently employed, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, how do you receive income? How do you take care of yourself?
I do seasonal work in the summer, landscaping.
Okay, and so that's part-time work.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you receive any financial assistance from the state? Are you on unemployment?
I get unemployment.
You do receive unemployment, yes?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any dependent children that you're responsible for taking care
2.
of? Okay. Okay, and are you receiving food assistance from the state?
Just like I think $100.
Okay, all right, Mr. Pugh, the court, based on the admissions that you've made to the court does find that you're suffering from a manifest financial hardship and is going to sentence you to 8 hours of community service and lieu of fines and costs.
You said, can I just pay it in?
I'm sorry, Mr. Pugh?
You said 8 hours of community service.
I did.
Can I just pay it in?
Can you just pay?
Yes.
Is community service difficult for you?
Yes, it will be because I have to watch my kids.
Okay. Did you post the bond?
How much would that be?
I'm just asking, you have to pay a bond. Okay, the court's gonna will amend the sentence to a minimum fine of $5, mandatory court cost in the amount of $190, leaving you with a balance owing of $195. When are you able to make that payment, Mr. Pugh?
Yeah, like 30 days.
Okay, I don't know what it is. Let's see.
Like 30 days.
Okay, we'll make it due in April 6th, okay?
That'll work.
Okay. So you can make your payment a few ways. You can pay at a DivDat kiosk, which is located at any local CVS, or you can pay online directly at 36districtcourt.org, or you can pay using a DivDat mobile app. And also there's a new phone number that you can use to pay. That's 24/7. That's 36 District Court recently implemented. And I'm gonna send it to you by way of the chat.
Okay.
All right, I just sent it to you. You see that?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Just make you screenshot that or write that down so that you can call that number if you want to.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, all right, Mr. Pugh, any questions or concerns before we conclude your hearing today, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you have a wonderful day and please be safe.
You too.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you, Officer Bennett. Please be safe. Take care.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, Attorney Bach.